Welcome to another presentation at the East Trade Winds, hosted by Bernie Franzgrote and Wayne Pratt. The presentation today is titled Breakthrough Strategies for Job Seekers. Our guest is Garrett Rice from Callings.ai. Garrett, the CEO and co-founder of Callings.ai, a groundbreaking platform built to transform the job hunting experience. Alongside co-founders Philippe Caillou and Horst Goven, all veterans of Silicon Valley with experience at companies like Apple and Adobe, Garrett set out to create the tools they wished had existed during their own job searches. With a passion for building products that simplify and humanize the job hunt, Garrett and his team spent over a year developing Callings.ai to help job seekers connect with opportunities more easily and employers find the right talent faster.
One of the goals for today is to talk about how to get your next role in this world. I love the opening discussion, which is discovering what you want first. And I'll add one trick that somebody taught me a long time ago, which I loved, which is if you want to know where you're going, imagine that somebody gave you $50 million. And after you finished partying and traveling and came back, what would you do with your life? That might be the correct answer. And then here's the hard part. Nobody's going to give you $50 million, but you might as well do that anyways. That's a trick that I've used when I'm confused about what I'm supposed to do next, for what it's worth. I want to talk really quickly about Callings.ai. We are a job hunt platform for job seekers. We built our business and this platform around people looking rather than recruiters and hiring companies. And we did that for a very specific reason. The modern job hunt is all pain. I think this has come up a lot on this program. It's different than it was even 5 years ago. Now, job search lasts anywhere between 5 months and a year, and in some cases longer. Job hunters have to spend 10 hours a week looking. They send out a minimum of 51 resumes to secure a job, and we're talking to people now who are sending out hundreds. Unfortunately, though, currently people are using 16 different tools and services in their job hunt. There's no place to live and wake up every day to your job hunt. That's what we're trying to do. The average job post now gets 250 applicants, which means it's a lottery every time you apply for a job, with only 2% getting an interview, and 75% or more of the resumes that you submit are never going to be seen by a human being. They're going to be processed by applicant tracking systems. So this is just the reality. It's not necessarily news anybody wants to hear, but it's important to know what you're up against when you're looking for a job. And here's what the modern job hunt looks like for those hundreds of applications. You need to find roles that you actually want to pursue. You need to research and do your background investigations. You need to customize resumes and cover letters for every single role, because if you don't, you'll get rejected because you don't match the job post closely enough. Then you apply, and then you do the hard work, which really will get you the job, which is you start networking toward that role. And then if you're lucky, you'll do interview prep and negotiation prep to try and land that role. And so you need to do that for potentially those seven steps for potentially hundreds of applications. You need a workflow. As I mentioned, people use 16 tools and services. That's because none of them manage all these different steps in one place. Here's what the tool set for most people looks like. They're using different things for different steps. It's impossible to manage. They have to build their own spreadsheets and folders full of resumes and cover letters to manage their workflow, and then try and keep notes on all of it. People are going crazy trying to do this. We built a platform that does all of this in one place. That's Callings.ai. We're dedicated in a comprehensive platform for you, the job seeker. Plus, we include coaching and support as well. And we want to be comprehensive, personalized, and easy to use for the job seeker. So that's Callings.ai. I can quickly show it to you. I'm going to switch my screen over here to this Chrome browser. And the starting point for us is you drop your resume or add your LinkedIn profile. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this resume here. And we will onboard you without asking you to fill out a bunch of forms and questions because you've shared your resume confidentially, by the way. We don't share it with anybody without your permission. And we bring you into Callings. And the first thing we do is welcome you and give you a message based on what we've read about you to remind you that you're a talented person with a great background. Your record of building global alliances, leading teams, and launching innovative AI and ML products is notable. And so at least I know how this is my sample resume and this is how I come off, which is good. And then I can go through and do the onboarding, which I'm going to show you. So I'm going to skip that. After you've done that, you can see that you're immediately in the system and we're going out and looking for roles. This is our dev platform. Based on that resume, we're showing you 3 highly ranked roles that match the skills on the resume. And you have the choice of going through here and either saying don't show again if you don't want to see that job, or adding the job to your tracker. And at the center point of our platform is a job tracking system so that all of your hunt is in one place. You don't just have to use our jobs though that we find. What we do is go out and use your resume and match it against millions of jobs and find ones that you're actually a match for the role for. So that's what I just showed you with the job match system. And we give you the score, which I'm going to go into, but we support using an extension on Chrome. You can import any job from LinkedIn that you find, either with the URL or by using our Chrome extension, or you can add jobs from company hiring sites or job boards using the URL as well. So we're agnostic. If you find the job that you want to pursue, bring it into our platform. It doesn't have to be from us. That's the onboarding process and finding roles. Now I'm going to switch over to a different browser because I have a pre-populated setup here that I wanted to show you. And in this, you can see I've got a lot of jobs. This is more populated. And again, there's 58 jobs in the tracker. Turns out that's about average if you want to get considered for a role these days. What we do though, is make it very easy for you to successfully apply to those roles and then pursue them. So I'm going to show you that. So for every one of these roles, there is, if you click on it, you'll see there's this job tools button. We provide a number of tools for each job for you to help you pursue the role. First thing we do is show you the published job description. Very important that you read that, understand what the company is asking. Sometimes they put questions in there or they make little hints at what is going to be a successful candidacy. So definitely encourage you to read the job description for a job you're pursuing. We also do an insights here where we kind of strip out the things that are most important, like compensation and the experience requirements. And then here's the job fit report, which is one of the more popular things on our platform. So that role had an 88% match against the resume that I uploaded. Here's why. Here are the pros to my candidacy for this job: experience, expertise, track record. Here are the cons or detriments that are not in my resume. They prefer a different degree than I have, I guess. There's no explicit mention of direct experience with music creation, but it's pulling off of my resume. So maybe that's a hint to me that I need to pull that out of my resume so it doesn't distract. And here's a detailed breakdown of the different areas that this job post has and how I match. And I'm a pretty good match for this role. This is a job at Apple, where I used to work, by the way. Great place. Highly recommend it. And here's details about the company, its website, and then down here, the latest news. If you're going to apply for a role and you think you're going to get an interview, please read all the latest news about the company so that you can talk about it, obviously. And so here, these first 4 tabs are all about research. And then when you apply for a role in this modern job hunt, you need to customize your resume so that it matches the job role. Why? So you can get through the applicant tracking system. It's not optimal. It's not the way that anybody wishes jobs were being landed, but it's important that you do this. And so what we do is we take the base resume that you've uploaded and we make an analysis of it based on the job that you're pursuing. And we give you a match analysis. Here's what matches, here's what doesn't match, and here's a tailoring strategy. And then down below is our job resume tool. And I'm going to hit full screen here. And this is the resume. And everything in blue is our suggestions for what to change to make this resume a closer match to the job that this job posts. And we provide reasoning for the suggestion. We provide coaching hits for the suggestion. And then you can hit either use the suggestion in this tab or use the original to keep or build your new resume. So when you start hitting these things, it builds for you a text-based resume. This is important. As much as we love our formatted resumes, in the modern environment, all that data is scraped off by an ATS system. Your fancy purple resume with the background with the dinosaur, they can't see any of that. They just get a block of all of your text. We're suggesting and building for you a resume that is rich text-based so that it will easily go through that process and come out the other side the way you want. And so if I keep going through here and using the suggestions, I have quickly built a resume that is customized for this specific role, and especially the skills block. Highly recommend that you accept our skills block. And you now have a customized resume for this role. If you hit the PDF button, you can download that onto your desktop. And it's very difficult to find roles where you can quick apply. Contrary to what you might think, you're going to have to oftentimes go to the landing site of the hiring company or find it on a job board. And so we make it easy for you to go to where the job application is. There's no easy way around that, unfortunately. So that's the resume tool. We also provide you a draft of a cover letter, which, by the way, you can type in all of these. These are also word processors, so you can make your own changes. You don't have to depend on the AI. But the goal with the custom cover letter is to solve the blank page problem, which is, I personally learned when I was looking for a job, I'd spend all day staring at the screen. What should I say in this cover letter? At least here we give you a draft that you can work off of, and that tends to get people unstuck as they move forward. So when you've done that and you've applied, these are the generative tools, the generative AI tools that we have. We've built our own prompts based on a lot of research on the job business for you. You're welcome to use your own, of course. But what we want to do is get you through the application process, because the most important thing is the next step, which is after you've applied, you've got to network. And what we do is we go out, read that job post, go onto LinkedIn and find the 5 to 7 people that are most closely related to this role. And this is important because what you want to do is shoot your shots. You want targeted shots at people inside the company that are close to the hiring manager or are the hiring manager, so that you can reach out. If he hears your name, your resume is more likely to be on the top of the pile, and then you'll get that consideration for an interview. So the goal of networking is to get close to the role so that they know about you and your personal brand is in front of them. And so what we do is we identify these people. This is a product manager for creative apps. And if you look down here, Adam Silver is a product manager, senior product manager. And so these are people at Apple that are connected to this role. And if you identify somebody, and by the way, what we do is we bring in the information from LinkedIn about them. Here's an overview of this guy. Here's how many followers he has, and the interests he has, the work history. And then say you decide for your goal is to reach out, you can just hit the reach out button. We draft an outreach message for you. You can change it, but we at least we give you an option. And then you can just click on the LinkedIn tab and you've copied that. And then you just hit message and go. So we're not trying to replace. We are the best friend of LinkedIn. That's where a lot of your social graph is. That's where your information is. Definitely encourage you to use that tool to start networking. And you've got to do it for every role. And the good news is, with us, you have the option of having all the workflow in one place. So when you've done that, the notes are put in there. So we track that you've reached out to these people. If you find somebody outside of this networking target list that we bring you, you can go and do a custom outreach and enter in the information about them. And then we'll draft an outreach message for you that way. So maybe you meet somebody at a party and they're like, oh, my brother-in-law works on that team. Then we'll help you generate an outreach message for that person. You could type in here, he's the brother-in-law of Fred. And so we'll generate a message that's custom. Now, hopefully you'll get through to the interview phase. We provide a detailed report on the interview. We give you a pep talk. We suggest the pitfalls based on your candidacy, your resume against this job. We provide suggested likely interviewers that you'll be facing, the topics, the questions they'll ask, the behavioral questions they might ask, and then questions that you can ask. It's not completely comprehensive because you never know what happens in an interview, but we feel like with this report, you'll be up to speed and prepared for most of what you hear. And you can print that out up here as a PDF. And so you can keep it right in front of you during what is now for most people a Zoom interview, not in person. And then for everything, you can add notes and to-do items for each and every role. It all exists back here inside this tracker. We send a weekly report to you via email on your progress to remind you to take next steps, et cetera. And your whole job hunt is in one place here, and it's by job, so you can search for it. And that's the main core of Callings.ai. We also provide a My Insights tab, which asks you personal questions based on your resume and the information you provide to us, which will help you navigate toward that question that we've been asking at the beginning of the podcast here, which is, what do I want to do? And the answer is you have to keep answering that question in different ways, and then it will slowly leak out in a weird way that you can't anticipate. And that's what we're trying to do here with our My Insights tab. Once you've answered those questions, we'll generate what we call an ideal report, which is the answer to that question. Based on your answers, this is what you're saying your ideal job would look like. We provide a goals report, which is what are your goals for pursuing that career? And then we provide a brand elements section, which gives you a 2-minute elevator pitch that you can use to help pitch yourself, as well as provide you feedback on how you can go and sell yourself, your personal brand. So that's all in this My Insights tab. And then finally, we provide some base level coaching here with one of our co-founders, Horst Govin, and potentially other guest speakers who provide videos to talk through the job hunt process. And the goal, again, is to give you information to keep you going. And it's all here in one place. That's the highlight of Callings.ai. You can get to it by going to Callings.ai and register. You can also reach out to me if you have questions, Garrett at Callings.ai. But it's a real honor to show you that process.
Unlock the full potential of networking with East Trade Wins. Are you eager to connect with our esteemed guest speaker and delve deeper into the ever-expanding universe of connections? Simply scan the QR code now and embark on a journey of endless opportunities. Join us at East Trade Wins, where we gather online via Zoom every Tuesday from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting out, you're welcome to connect with us. Seize the moment, register for free, and start exploring today. Fancy sharing your insights as a guest speaker? We're looking for you. Reach out to Wayne Pratt to ignite your speaking journey. Email him at wayne@motivateyou.ca or connect with Wayne on LinkedIn. Don't wait. Take action and be a part of a global community that's shaping the future of business networking.